Welcome to another Catholic moment. I decided to take this moment to kind of like try to explain why I'm doing what I'm doing. A lot of people are probably wondering, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? So many other people probably do a better job than you. And you know what? You're probably right. When I think of other video bloggers out there, when I think of other websites like Church Militant, with Michael Voris. He's got a whole thing there. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's amazing. I put the link below so you can check it out. It's an amazing apostolate where they really are trying to reach out to cater to our spiritual needs. There's a lot out there regarding, feeding the hungry and helping for basic human rights and all that, which is all good. It's all great, but our spiritual needs need to be fulfilled as well. So it's good for these kind of things to come up. That's one of the reasons why I decided to do this. Actually, I've been inspired by Church Militant, as well as a couple other people to post stuff like this, so that I can kind of share my 2 cents about the faith, about what the beliefs are of the Catholic faith, because it's that important to me. It means that much to me. And whatever is that important to me, I feel like I can't just keep it to myself. I gotta go out there and share it with the rest of you guys out there. There's also this other cool YouTube page called The New Catholic Generation. It's headed by this girl. I forgot her name right now. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. They're a group of college kids that are awesome. They really put out the faith out there very well. Also, they do pretty good out there. You should check them out. Absolutely. And then there's Father Mike from Ascension Presents. Oh my goodness, it's pretty cool, man. I think this priest. He comes out and he like really talks about serious things about the faith, and he doesn't mince words. Like, he really tells you like it is, in his way, which I think is great. I like to think there are different kind of flavors to this, to ice cream, that you can actually learn in different ways from different people, different aspects of the faith. But it's all true. It's not BS. It's not like, nonsense. It's not like somebody coming out here saying weird stuff, that will get you to start a cult or something. No. This is real. This is real stuff. The faith is real, people. And I think it's awesome. But coming back to me, I think the reason why I do it is because I didn't really learn it well. Like, I was introduced to the faith by, God bless her, God rest her soul, Sister Genevieve, back in the fall of 1984. I was beginning a different path in my life that may not have ended well for me. And I'm glad that God had that timing set for me to kind of get away from that. And it was through that time period that I made a decision, actually, to say, and I remember that decision. I said, you know what? I want to learn about this God. I want to know what he's really about. And you know what Jesus says? For those who seek, find. For those who knock, the door is open. Well, boy, did I find, and boy, did that door open. So it was very important for me to experience this and to go through all the different stages of development, spiritual development that I kind of went throughout my years. Now, I've been involved in various different kinds of ministry, mostly youth ministry. And then in the summer of 1990, I learned how to play the guitar. So I ended up becoming a music minister as well, playing mass in my old parish, Our Lady of Pity, back in the days, all the way up until 1996, I believe, where I had moved on to the parish of Holy Cross, where I stayed for 15 years. Not doing much at St. Benedict's right now. However, there is a cool encounter with Jesus happening May 12th of 2017. If you see this video before that date and you happen to be in the neighborhood, come on down. Have an encounter with Jesus. Very important. I think about the parable that Jesus talked about, the parable of the talents, where Jesus had people come and gave them, the master came and gave everybody a certain amount of talents to use on. And it's funny how I know the word talent was used differently back then, but when you think of the word talent, I think of, what you can do, what you can do well. And one thing I know how to do well, I've been told at least, is speak the word of God, talk to people about Christ, and do music, through guitar playing and that kind of thing. And I've been amazingly surprised at myself that I was able to gain this kind of opportunity, gain that kind of talent to bring God's word to people, whether it's through word or through song. I still am working on my corporal works of mercy, to be honest with you. I'm not as good on that part as I am with the spiritual works of mercy. I need help with that. Anybody out there, help me. Because it's not easy for me. And, it's hard to be a husband and a father and to juggle all of this, at this time in my life as I'm kind of like experiencing all this. I really believe that God called me for a purpose, and I've done the youth ministry deals for years on end, through youth group, through Grace House Youth Ministry Center, through the young adult group at my old parish, all the way up now to the men's cornerstone group at St. Benedict's, knock on wood, ministries that I have been involved with. And one thing I've always told people is that, look, you know what? You're the ministry. You're the ministry. Be the ministry to other people, because you might be the only Jesus they'll ever know. You might be the only way that they'll understand who God really is. Now, have I messed up in that? You bet I have. A lot. There have been times in my life when I've completely fallen away, and I've completely needed to suffer that out, in order to get back to Jesus. And you know what? Whatever it took for God to bring me back in, He brought me back in, and it hurt many times. And I think that's how it kind of works for the life of the Christian, that in order to get to a better place with the Lord, one must go through a trial of cleansing, and that cleansing can hurt. It's a time of pruning. Jesus Himself said that, that sometimes we must be pruned in order for us to bear better fruit later on. And that's an important thing to remember. Look, Jesus is God, and we'll talk about that at another moment. But, when you're God and you're talking, you better listen, because it doesn't get better than that. How can you be God, right, and die on the cross and rise from the dead, and then a few hundred years later somebody else comes up with another idea? How do you top that? You can't. You can't top that. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. People come up with other kind of faiths and all that, and we've talked about this before, but after you do something like that and you're God, can't really follow, top that. Can't really do it. And that's why I choose to be a Catholic. That's why I choose to do what I'm doing right now, speaking to all you wonderful people out there who are listening to me. And, I would like to think that eventually, even if you just learn one thing, even one little thing from these videos I put out, just one thing, then that means I must have done my job, For those of you who probably started watching and probably turned off and moved on to something else because you're bored and you're not into this God stuff, that must mean that I'm doing my job too, on that aspect as well, because that means that I must be saying the right thing. Hey, it's what drives the atheist mad. What can I say? At least some. Some are cool. I know a couple that are cool. And not so mean. I like that. I just wanted to put that out there, and I wanted to let you know that we'll continue with these moments, and hope to see you guys soon. God bless, and this was a moment. Take care.